Hey everyone, this is what happened when I tried to debate in the Discord philosophy communities. I tried to solo their server after a person named Bacon Bone was trying to, bait people into the server to start shit for entertainment. And this is when I just started philosophy, and I think I did pretty well, I think. Maybe at some point I'll actually learn more about philosophy and join back into these arguments. I have learned more since then. I am considerably better. But here's what me with no research and pretty much raw rhetoric looks like, though. This is one of the reasons a lot of people think I am a very rhetorically dominant debater, because obviously I came in with pretty much no knowledge on the topic, and this is how well I did. Other than that, though, guys, I hope you enjoy it. And people always wanted to see, well, Seth, you're always in these peanut galleries, so then maybe we can put on the other foot and we can have a peanut gallery attacking me for once. So I hope you guys will enjoy it.
Reason to, obviously, we can survive without meat. They're living vegans. There are numerous nutritionists that go around, saying, vegan diets work, they lower cancer. We're not really here to debate about nutrition, right? I'm not fucking vegan gains. So we're going to be debating about the morality of it. So morality, there's no reason we don't need to survive off of it. I heard a really fallacious claim you guys made in another debate. I don't know if you care if I mention this, but you guys were appealing to nature. I don't know if you're going to use the same argument.
Okay, let's just start with that claim. You're making the claim.
Yeah. Because you guys
slow down. It's okay. You made the claim that
guys, no chill.
Yeah, you made the claim that we have no reason to be a vegan because we can go without meat, right? We could live without meat,
right?
But under the same argument, we could go without cars, right? We could go without computers. We could go out. We could go out with a lot of.
Whoa! That's technology. Yeah, this is about just your health diet.
But you see how your argument applies to a variety of things.
No,
right?
it doesn't, because this is nutrition. It's completely different. You're also not killing people to drive a car.
Well, give me the argument for why it's different. Why?
Yeah, because you're causing unnecessary harm to creatures. It's just not morally virtuous. It's completely illogical.
Hold on, this is between Danny and Pinpin. Everybody chill out.
Plants aren't sentient, so that's a fallacy. Can you not? Thank you. Anyway, next.
That's not what a fallacy is.
Silence.
Well, yeah, it is.
Name which fallacy.
You're making a false equivalence. That's what it is. Yeah, they don't equate at all. Yeah. Anyway, next.
You made a claim that it was unnecessary suffering. Demonstrate
look.
So
what do people understand about a one-on-one between Danny and this guy?
It doesn't need to be one-on-one. I'll slap all of you.
Just one-on-one. It's just whenever. It's just
so when Asian people are committing suicide,
shut up and let them talk.
Well, what's his suicide claim? Obviously his boyfriend needs help. So what's the claim you're about?
Danny had mentioned technology, right? And you were saying people don't die from driving cars, but I would say when it comes into when people are making the iPhone, I think numerous of Asian people suffer unnecessarily.
That's another false equivalence, because people aren't sacrificed to make your car, right? You don't build people into a car, right? But when you eat meat, you are actually killing the fucking animal to eat it, right? When people get depressed over their job, that's just a lifestyle choice and more of a work ethic.
Oh, so when they built the pyramids, that was just a choice, right? They didn't just
Well, there's actually different theories on that. I mean, this is a bit of a red herring, but I mean, we can go on it, because some people say that the people that built the pyramids were actually had a lot of grace and they were treated respectfully, and some people say they were slaves. So that's a completely different argument.
And what about the environment? That's the harm that the environment that is caused by the production of cars or
why is this relevant? Why is the that's like global warming.
You act like the suffering of animals is just only exists in this one-dimensional world where it's you kill an animal that's suffering, that's bad.
Yeah, we're killing animals for no reason. Yeah, it's completely logical. Yeah.
No, there is reason for it. What are you talking about?
What's the reason?
One, it tastes good.
So it tastes good, so people can eat you because you taste good. I mean, that's just.
You're talking about false equivalence now, right?
Well, no, you just named the trait. The trait was but flavor, though. So if you taste good, can I eat you?
Again, it's false equivalence.
That's not a false equivalent at all. You just named the trait. I just said, if you taste good, can I eat you? If it's not the trait, please name a different trait.
Well, when that was pointed out to you, right? Someone said that your first argument was that it's not necessary, right? And
absolutely not necessary.
That's you. Hey, buddy, let me tell you something, right? You named the trait, right?
I'm not naming the trait for why animals deserve to die. That would be you. You'd be
No,
named.
you named a criterion. The point is, you named a criterion in which it makes it okay, or it makes something immoral, right? You named a trait.
Wait, how did I name a trait? Excuse me? Can someone like extrapolate on this? I'm really confused. What?
Yeah, you said the first thing you said was that if it's not necessary to eat animals, therefore it's wrong to. That's what you said.
Well, no, I actually went on to a different tangent and said it's causing
right. So I'm not
unnecessary
concerned
suffering.
about
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not concerned about that either, right? I don't care about the tangents.
About what?
I don't care about
no.
tangents,
Obviously, I made another argument talking about the well-being of.
Oh, okay.
It's
we can talk about that, right?
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
Hold on a second.
Kill animals,
we can talk about that at another point, but it sounds like you're conceding, right? That argument was shit.
No, because I built up upon it, and you just like misinterpreted what I was trying to say.
No,
obviously, I said it was. I said it was completely useless.
You said you went on a tangent. Something that's tangential isn't really related.
This is a complete red herring. This is just a red herring.
Does this guy just fucking say fallacy names as if it makes
That's what it is. It's a red herring. He's bringing up.
No, you fucking moron.
The red herring is bringing up your argument.
2 seconds, you might
the red herring is bringing up your argument.
Yes, you're misinterpreting my argument.
That's not.
I never
red
said.
herring isn't a misinterpretation.
Oh my God, I never said pointless. It's immoral.
Dude,
I said torturing animals for reason is fucking immoral. Obviously,
He did.
Okay. But right then and there, I mean, we're not doing it. If we were to torturing animals, let's say I grant that, right? It's for a reason. It's for the reason of eating, right?
Yes,
so it's
we
not.
Don't need it to survive. That's the point. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's the argument that Tom was just addressing. The idea that it's unnecessary, right? So you do admit that Tom was not giving a red herring.
Okay. Well, let's just start back from square one because we're all confused.
Okay. Now that you've recognized your error.
No, I don't recognize the error at all. I'm actually.
Well, then why do you want to start over? If you haven't recognized your error, why would you want to start over? That seems silly to me.
Okay, we'll just talk about what my problem is then, because this is weird.
Okay, well that's fine. I'll let you reset. Go ahead.
Okay, so my argument is right. Well, let's just go from the top where we just were. Okay, so I said we don't need to eat animals because we don't have to, obviously. And really, what we're doing is we're torturing other sentients for no reason. And that's the entire premise.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, so there's again 2 claims there, right? The first one is unnecessary, right? And I've explained that there are cases in which we use technology or utilize other things and unnecessarily. We don't need them to survive. And then the second claim that you made was that we torture them for no reason. And I said that even if I granted that we were deliberately torturing animals, right? It would be for the reason of eating. So that's just
okay. So can aliens farm people and torture you just for the sake of eating?
I mean, isn't that irrelevant? I mean, I don't.
No, that's not irrelevant.
We're dealing.
Is that a red herring?
That's a hypothetical.
Would that be illegal aliens or what kind of aliens?
Danny didn't.
No,
Danny didn't give her.
It's a hypothetical to test your moral consistency. If you're not okay with aliens killing you for the same reason, then it's obviously.
This is your criterion. That's not Danny.
Yeah, like and at that it's a category error that you're giving, right? Most people, like if we're analyzing your moral philosophy and your moral values, right? We might intuitively say that there might be a difference in complexity or value between a human being and an animal, right?
Okay, so what's the trait then?
The trait what?
Yeah, what's the trait that the animals don't have that justifies humans killing them? That's what I'm gonna ask.
They're not humans.
Okay, so aliens can kill people. That's just same thing.
No, wait, that doesn't follow. That's a non sequitur, right? If we're saying
because the aliens, you're not they're people, right? So
no, think about this. If we're starting with the assumption that human beings are valuable, then according to that hypothetical you gave, aliens shouldn't kill human beings.
Why are humans valuable?
Look. Here's what you asked, right? So we can kill a cow because it's not a human. An alien can't kill a human and eat it because it's a human. Well, nothing has changed.
That's an arbitrary line. You need to justify why humans have like this protection against all moral consistency.
Well, first of all, we were saying if we are granting that if that's an intuition that we have, I'm fine with not operating on that intuition, right? But if you're not operating on the intuition, then you're stuck with the same problem. Why are valuables? Why are animals not valuable at all, or like are valuable? Sorry, why are they valuable?
Just arbitrary.
Because they're sentient, they deserve well-being.
But that's arbitrary
like every
too.
other creature.
That's arbitrary.
Well, no, it's not arbitrary. We shouldn't be torturing or killing sentients. Like that's just the idea.
You're just repeating your claim.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
aliens
justification
shouldn't
for
be
it.
doing anything to us then.
You're just saying, oh well, humans, they don't deserve to die, and I'm like,
Well,
why?
I haven't made that claim.
There's evidence in the world to suggest that plants are conscious, right? So what would be the point? Like if plants are also conscious and
plants are
capable?
not technically sentient.
I
Like
don't know
there's
what's the
ideas they
argument
can communicate through like fungi, like trees
they
can,
seem to
but
express
But the
capacity
problem
to
is,
suffer.
there are humans.
yeah, but
that
there's no
deserve
actual
to die.
evidence they're sentient.
There are humans out there that do deserve to die. So maybe we could just start hunting them.
What? Anyway, can we go back to whatever was happening? What was Danny on about now? After that,
Well, you were saying, okay, so your claim about the unnecessary, that because it's unnecessary, therefore it's we shouldn't do it or we shouldn't utilize animals for food. But I was demonstrating that you haven't really addressed that point of your claim or that my objection to that claim. And the second was that you're saying we have no reason to torture animals for no reason is just wrong, but that's not what we're doing, right? We are harming animals for an end, right? So that's just blatantly false, right? And I don't see.
Well, people do torture animals in farms. Obviously, like they rape them
for no reason.
Yeah. Do you know how they get?
Wait,
other
so
than like
it's not
other than
farming.
like the food, other than like
But
the food.
Pinpin, you're
argument,
arguing this the entirely wrong way. You're just saying no reason, but there are reasons, right? But you don't have to say there's
well,
no.
the reasons are just
There's no
eating,
morally
but
justifiable reasons that you would accept for doing that. Is what you need to say and argue from that position. God damn, you're horrible at arguing.
Well, no, I'm just saying
I
that
came
we
in
don't,
talking a lot of trash.
we don't need to eat meat to survive. That's the whole point. So when you say, "Oh, well, the reason we torture them is for meat," it's still there's no reason because we don't need to do that.
But we don't live in order just to stay alive, right? I mean, there's a part of like staying alive that.
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna rape people. That's just a part of being
That's
alive,
arbitrary
dude. It
too,
feels
right? I
good.
could just say we don't need.
Yeah,
to
dude. Go nihilism. Let's just promote nihilism.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
not.
it. Let's all just live by.
But
our-
look, Pinpin, the starting point
And
is arbitrary.
talk about a red herring,
you do
right?
understand that too,
No,
right?
I was just mocking him. That wasn't even a fucking.
But you do understand that the starting point is still arbitrary, right? It's just you're going to argue from their starting point. It's going to end up being.
Well, this was about
consistent.
morals. This was about morals. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
I literally said this was about morals at the very beginning, didn't I? I said I'm
you
not
think the
thinking
moral
games. I'm not
is
debating.
arbitrary, right?
Yeah. Well, I said no. I said it's completely illogical morally to just kill and eat creatures when you don't have to. You don't need to kill other beings or sentients for no reason. Like I said, you can survive off of plants. You don't need to rape people to feel better, right?
What if I had a particular taste for, let's say, lobster, and then I had
He's saying
in order
for
to
no reason, even though you admitted
it's
there's
like
a reason.
He's saying
Van, we told him multiple times. He's not.
He fell into the slippery slope fallacy, dude. Look, just because I say like I get pleasure from fucking eating animals, doesn't mean this is gonna be a slippery slope and I'm gonna go fucking eat humans, you moron.
I never said that. I
You're
said
a fucking moron,
I
dude.
said it was
Shut your
moral
mouth.
consistency.
You're a moron.
Moral consistency. Yes.
You're a moron.
Moral consistency is.
How's that morally consistent when we're saying something like human beings are more valuable than
for instance,
than animals?
when you say, "Oh, well, I eat animals because it tastes good," right? So
Wait,
if
I didn't make that claim.
I said if. Do you know if?
Well, that's irrelevant. That's not my claim. You're attacking.
I'm referring to him.
He's just giving you an example right now, though. Dan.
I'm referring to him, man. Come on. Yeah. Okay. So he said, it's weird, and I said, okay, well, take for instance, someone said. Think, oh, well, it feels good. You could say it tastes good if you're into that.
Oh,
it's just when you name weird arbitrary traits.
I'm not. Look, things about life are just arbitrary, and that's just the way.
The arbitrary traits don't matter, Jack.
But I mean,
it's about his starting point and seeing if there's a trait that is inconsistent, right? If he says that he values them because of their because they can suffer, then you would point and say, well, the animals suffer too.
Are you talking to me or him?
Yes, you.
Me? Okay, can you repeat? Because I thought you were talking to him for some reason.
Yeah, you just straw man the fuck out of me. But go ahead, I'm not gonna.
No, yeah, he keeps replying.
I said
to
you need to start. You need to break down what they mean and why they value humans, right? Because if they just
I was asking that. I was like, why? No, I did. I did ask that. They just, why do humans have this protection
because you keep
against
saying
consistency?
things like saying things like, well, you have no reason, but they do have reasons, right? But you need to.
But they never named a reason.
But no. Listen to me. You need to be specific and start saying moral justification. Right? You have no moral justification for doing that. And then because they can say, well, I have this reason to do it, but it has nothing to do with morality, right?
Okay, well, torch me for assuming that people were on the same page. I thought we were all agreeing that this was a debate about morals, right? So obviously when I say, hey, you have no justification for, because they're people though, because they're people though, that it doesn't protect them from all moral consistency, right? That was the whole premise of the debate.
Whatever,
and they were just and then they just kind of avoided that point, and then they just started, attacking me, right? For all these,
Danny, whenever he says reason, just replace that with moral justification.
Okay, I'll just start saying moral justification.
I said when you say that, just replace it in his mind.
Okay, I'll just
look. If this is all about morals, what do you think morals are?
Howdy ho.
Well, I'm a bit of a nihilist myself. Obviously, it's about how we run society.
In what sense are you a nihilist?
He's making a moral argument.
No, I'm a nihilist, but I believe in moral obligations and moral virtue.
All right, stop with the fake laugh, buddy.
All right,
okay.
don't worry about Brenda. She's just
I'm a moral nihilist, but
he's an ontological nihilist, right? But that doesn't say.
Yeah, okay, so you're an ontological nihilist. So would you say you are a moral nihilist? You have to be specific with your terms. So.
Okay, so when I say that, I mean, obviously I don't believe there's a universal moral code, like there's some kind of deity made or something. I believe it's exactly. So I believe it's just more like a societal thing that we create for ourselves. So the argument here is why,
well, if morals are just a societal thing, and most of society eats meat, you defeated your own argument.
Come on, you gotta let me speak. Okay, I know I said you guys could rat pack me because I'm better at debating, but come on. Okay, so
so you can't actually handle getting rat packed? Well,
okay, anyways,
you gotta let me speak at least. You can rat pack me, but let me speak. Yeah.
Like you can't understand arguments if you're talking over someone. So go ahead.
Yeah, so the argument that I'm trying to make is that yes, society determines what's moral, but I'm arguing why it should be a moral obligation, or why it's more morally virtuous, and why it should be part of this social stigma, right? That's the whole premise.
Well, then you're gonna have to you're just defining things really poorly, right? If what's moral is what society deems moral, most people in the world eat meat. So you're just talking about what society ought to think is moral, and that's something very different. If you're going to define morality there, then you've just defeated yourself.
Okay, so obviously there are people around the world, if they're on an island or something, they can eat meat. Surviving comes first, right? But when it comes to people, in first world countries that have a choice, I believe it should be a moral obligation. Yeah, to not eat animals or support it.
So,
but Pinpin, you said it's okay.
Look, your definition.
So would you say that from a let's kind of get specific here. So you could say you can talk descriptively or prescriptively about something, right? You can talk descriptively about the law. You can say that the law says that we should function within these parameters, or you could say prescriptively you ought to behave this way because this being has subjective experience or has a capacity for suffering, or how I don't know how you're going to build the argument. I'm kind of curious to see the direction, but are you talking more from a descriptive stance? Because I often see in vegan debates people will switch on and off between prescriptive and descriptive.
Okay, so I think what I was mainly going for coming into this, I don't know if this answers your question, if I'm straw manning or missing the point. Okay, so when I mainly came into this, I did mention this a few times. I just wanted them to name the trait that an animal, didn't have that justified them dying.
No, it's not.
Right? Wait. Do you mean the quality that you possess that the animal lacks that justifies the exploitation of the animal?
Yes, and the trait they mainly kind of came to subconsciously was but people though, and I tried to go into that, and now we're into this weird tangent, and it's
well, let me answer that. Well, if you're going to say that species is the justification for killing, would you be okay being discriminated against based on the justification species? If another species, fill in the blank, let your mind go wild, were to discriminate against you based on species, would you accept it?
That's what I told them. That's literally what I said. I said aliens. Yeah, I said aliens though, and they kind of laughed at that. They didn't really get the hypothetical, but
you can laugh at the value of aliens exist. You can say, ha ha ha, funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
NK, are you a vegan, NK?
That's a false analogy. Though.
No, I'm not.
That's the same old vegan argument. That they always
I'm not a
give.
vegan either. I'm playing
What is same old vegan argument? That's not an argument. That's just a fucking like okay.
Your
nice,
argument's
buddy.
too anachronistic, dude. I can't.
Yeah, dude, it's too idiosyncratic to other fucking people's how other people speak. It's like echoing rationality is not a bad thing. I highly encourage echoing rationality.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're fucking autistic if you think otherwise. So.
I still want to see the evidence that suggests that plants can't suffer, right? Because the
well, I'd like to see the evidence that they do. Please,
Camden make a claim.
I'm sorry, Dr. Baxter is not going to do you any good. Like, please.
Is your major objection, Pinpin, is suffering? Is that where
telepathic plants though?
Because
look,
if it's suffering, I mean, are you an anti-natalist then?
Anti-natalist. Oh my god. Okay, this is a red herring.
I'm just asking you. Are you? Is it?
No, I don't have to answer that question. Move on.
Why don't you have to answer?
I don't have to answer a question about anti-natalism and a veganism. Please move on. Thank you.
Irrelevant.
Well, if suffering is your main concern, right?
I don't need to answer that question.
Why is it particular to animals then?
I don't need to answer that question. Thank you.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait. Like, actually, I want to investigate.
Well, then guess what?
Keep it on point.
Well, then guess what, dude? Don't. When you ask somebody whether or not they would eat babies, right? That's not relevant in a debate either. So don't ask that again.
Oh shit! Get fucked.
Yes, it is because I'm talking about your moral consistency within.
Yeah, and this is talking about the consistencies in your view, right?
Okay, so anti-natalism. Where are you even going with that then? Just extrapolate.
He's gonna fucking get you there. Shut up and listen.
I'm just curious if human suffering was your main concern, suffering in general, or was it particular to animal suffering that you cared about?
Okay, so you're arguing if I say that all suffering should be banned or something like.
No, I mean, is your desire to decrease suffering?
Okay, Cappy.
I'm just curious, dude. Just relax.
Okay. I put my guard. The guns are down. I put them down.
Stop taking bumps of cocaine and relax.
All right, everyone's guns are down. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Cool. Continue. You can repeat yourself because you kind of got interrupted a little bit.
I was just asking you: is it suffering is your main moral objection?
I think unnecessary suffering is really the trait here. Unnecessary.
How do you define unnecessary suffering?
Well, when something suffers for something that's not really justifiable or doesn't really need to happen. So.
Yeah, like there's another option present.
Yeah. So for veganism, it's like, yeah, you can eat plants. You don't need to eat the animal. Like that's the point. Like I understand my wording's pretty fucking ass here, but my argument still stands. So.
Why are you part of a vegan server if you're not a vegan? And do they try to turn you into a vegan?
Because I just like to argue with people. I'm a cunt. So.
Well, I mean,
like the Roman
Bacon,
diet,
you were part of that server as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen him argue against the vegans in there.
Dude, if you use the word, why are you using the word universal if you don't mean universal?
Oh my god.
Yeah, you mean so you're gonna take a left.
Michael,
it's more like
here, dude.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Yeah, that's fine, and I'm willing to go down that because I think that's necessary.
Clarifying.
Okay.
So what's the problem?
When Michael objects to the semantics, he's going to cry about it because he's using the wrong fucking words in order to describe what he fucking means. If you're going to, you want to establish whether or not they have a certain belief, and you're going to say universal human rights, and you don't mean universal human rights. What the fuck are you doing?
I literally
just
say
the right thing.
I said it for basic human rights. Yeah, I'm sorry for
basic human rights.
Okay, don't torture me about it or anything. All right, I'm sorry, but like,
well,
you guys
I
mean, it's very easy.
Okay, so it wasn't a get you in a gutcha moment. I see.
Okay. Yeah.
I just want to draw human rights.
Basically, all I'm saying, if you don't,
I think we've given Pinpin enough shit. We can continue the conversation. Michael, do you believe in basic human rights?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
cool.
So that I think the debate can like extrapolate from there, because if you have like a set chain of morals that you believe in, basic human rights, I think name the trait might be able to go into that. What I was basically saying though is, if people don't have that same right, well, I mean, not that same right, but that same thought process, they don't think people have basic human rights, then there is no point debating them, because obviously having a moral discussion with someone that doesn't believe in morals is fucking retarded.
Wait, why is it the case that if they don't believe in human rights for everyone, morals, couldn't they just have more apply to specific groups of people?
No, I said debating them like on the.
You mean because you can't apply your subjective morality to them?
Yeah, that's just be
okay. Shadows, that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is, to establish a baseline, it's better if you start a conversation with somebody who believes in basic universal rights. And if you do not have that baseline, then I would not have a conversation personally with that person.
Right.
I'm gonna hang on just a second. Hey,
saying.
Hang on just a second. Let's just be charitable in our reading and let them go with it.
Yeah, no, as I was saying, that directly translates to you shouldn't have conversations with people who don't agree with your subjective worldview.
Okay. So basic human rights is just like the idea that people are just treated, a certain way, right? I mean, like if you think people don't deserve rights for some reason, I mean, whatever, you can name the reason.
Okay, Shadows.
Why.
Can I just say, Shadows? That was like the most uncharitable interpretation.
That was not.
Listen, just because he said specifically, he said. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. No, because I want to respond to this. Can I respond to this? He specifically said veganism. Now he doesn't say that you can't have conversations with people you disagree with. Obviously, that's what he's doing when he's talking about veganism. If you want to talk about why you should have basic universal human rights, that is a separate issue. Okay, he's not saying you shouldn't have conversations with people you disagree with. You dishonest fucking asshole.
Hold on, listen. I thought
Michael was going to have a conversation. Hold on.
To be a set of apologetics for those people.
I thought we were going to have a conversation between Pinpin and Michael.
Well, I mean, that guy is being spurred out.
Shadow said something retarded.
Yeah, sorry.
Look, you guys.
I'm interested in seeing a conversation between Pinpin and Michael.
Great. I'm interested in making my point and asking a question.
Sure.
Right, we all have different
just make this guy spurg out again, or is it?
No, just let Ken go. Just let Ken go, and then when
no, it's fine. I'm interested in seeing the conversation.
Right. So this will be quick. This will be quick, right? There seems to be a bunch of different hurdles that you guys want people to jump over before you can conversate with them. You want them to accept human rights. You want them to accept subjective morality. You want them to accept a couple of other things, right? It seems like you're just narrowing down the conversation to a really small pool of people who disagree with you. Is there apologetics for all the other people which don't fall into this category? If there are apologetics for those, do you know what they are? Or do you guys
they don't need they don't need to accept subjective reality or rights. They can reject them. But the point is to discover if they hold those beliefs.
Right. Yeah, he's saying once you discover they don't believe that, what do you do? He's saying, what's your argument if they don't agree with your subjective worldview and understanding about human rights?
Okay, well, it's kind of like having a conversation as to why you shouldn't kill brown people, and then that person looks at you and says, well, why shouldn't I just kill all people?
Yeah, my position is that brown people are less important than white people.
Okay, well, that's exactly a parallel, and you just completely dodged it by memeing. So, yes, obviously you need a baseline so you're having a conversation.
So funny. Hey, asshole, he's not mean.
Yeah, he's not
okay,
memeing,
well, then he's just
serious.
This is just another thing. So Zycro has just indicated, right, that his way of dealing with people like Ken is just to morally grandstand, right? That's all he's going to do.
You gonna moral fag about him not liking black people?
What?
Yeah, that's why I want to know. I want to know if there's something substantive, or if you were just going to essentially like morally whine about it, right? About how you don't like my position. But I think that's only established. So you guys can continue what you guys were doing.
Not only is that, if you get him to name the trait with him, he's going to say skin tone.
Not only is that his position on moral rights, but
well, this whole discussion came about because I just said there's no point in having this type of moral discussion with people that don't believe in human rights. I think you guys really took it kind of out of proportion. I mean, you guys said, well, you're just, cherry picking a small, group of people that believe in human rights. Do you guys believe that most people don't believe in human rights on a
yeah, that's where I was disagreeing with Ken. I agree with his objection that you're essentially doing presuppositionalism when someone doesn't agree with something, and then you're going to block the conversation right there and just morally grandstand.
Sorry, I think what it would be is like an appeal.
He just took a breath. He just took a breath.
Sorry.
Yeah, chill out.
So I agree that it's presuppositionalism because if you're just going to morally grandstand on that point, but I disagree with Ken when it comes to him saying that there's like it becomes a small pool. Like obviously, most people in Western civilization seem to agree with the traits that you're looking for as far as having the conversation. The problem is that if somebody doesn't accept those, and you're on a moral subjectivist view, then that's where name the trait is going to start running into problems because somebody can just reject the damn trait.
Sure. So what Ken is asking
practically
for is
any
another
line
argument.
of argumentation has flaws. Like pointing this out is basically
Ken is just asking for another argument. That's not what you guys.
So if there was a preparation for that, there's not a preparation for that. That's fine. So we can go back and people that seem to be most people that are within the group that you're targeting, people that believe in human rights and have a subjective value.
I guess the question,
but I think actually most people might be objective moralists. I'm not sure.
I think the question would have to be what kind of rights are encompassed in this? Like, right? Are we talking about the UN and what they list in their charter? Because the UN charter has
I think that's
a dozen rights that aren't even protected by the UN.
That's why they say basic human rights, because the only thing that vegans need to establish is that murder is wrong.
Right. I mean, on what basis would that be the case?
Because they're arguing about fucking food, dude. So,
well, see, here's the thing, right? I mean, it's already been presented and nobody answered it. Like they're naming the trait. They say sentience. It's a sword that cuts
name
both
the
ways.
trait is human.
Wait, hang on just a second. So they say they want to say that there is a trait that we cannot name, but this is a sword that cuts both ways because there's not a trait that they can name. Right? So somebody said sentience earlier. That just gives somebody a warrant to eat human beings who are in comatosis.
I debunked that actually, but continue.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No,
I did. Yeah, because I said that eating people that are okay. You're gonna
wait. No. I'm sorry. I'm working with a delay, so I'm not trying to be rude. You and I had this out in the chat. Okay, so hang on. So you're saying that what I'm asking you to do is say that how is it not contradictory to eat somebody who's in a coma, right? Given the idea that sentience is the criteria for morality.
Okay, so this kind of comes under like the social contract kind of side of things because if you eat someone that's in a coma, it might lower the well-being of people that.
No, this is not a good reasoning to go with them.
No, I was just arguing personally why I don't.
I mean, yeah, and I understand that there is like a social contract as to why you shouldn't eat people, but I just don't think that's like the best way to answer.
You don't want to build a social contract.
You guys,
I'm not trying to like argue about it. I'm just explaining a rational reason
why
we wouldn't eat people with that.
Seem well, but you reject it when they deploy it, so it's better that.
Wait, what do I reject?
Social contract.
They didn't even try to use the social contract.
But weren't you giving your own personal objection as to why?
Do you guys need a minute?
No,
I feels awkward.
Yeah, I think they need a minute to figure out what their combined game plan is. Let's just everyone shut up for like 5 minutes.
But you know, vegans on Highline, they have disagreements.
I already explained this earlier. I'm just repeating what I already said.
Simple, guys.
He's coming at me saying that it's a wrong way to go about it. I don't know
Seth
why.
isn't doing anything wrong. You're just saying that it's immoral, but people don't do it because it's weird or something. Like that's pretty much that's simple as fuck. I don't like what is all this dishonesty going on?
Well,
I'm like you guys really misconstrue what I'm trying to say.
No, he asked them what was wrong.
I'm a vegan, dude. Like I was saying
to explain why it was wrong.
No, he's saying he appealed to social contract to say why people don't eat it because it's fucking weird.
Which isn't a good line of reasoning.
So you're saying he said something that was irrelevant?
Let me finish.
Guess what? We got a social contract where we eat meat.
I know.
Oh my god, dude! You guys are just.
Okay.
Could I ask a clarifying question?
Wait. I just want to wait. The guy that was just talking, all right? Because he was asked, why is it not okay to eat somebody that's in a coma?
Okay, Pinpin. Can I give you a better line of reasoning as to why?
Just let me fucking answer.
Yes, I'm not a meat eater, dude. I'm a vegan. I've been arguing alongside you.
I'm not vegan. I'm playing devil's advocate. Okay. I'm just answering his question.
Yeah, answer it, please. Let's
just use I explained the terrible lines of argumentation. So, go ahead.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
You guys are
what
killing
is it that you guys mean by sentient or sentience?
Oh my lord.
Being able to have a subjective experience, I would say. I don't know if that's. I'm speaking. I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm speaking for myself when I say that.
What does that even mean?
I don't know if everyone agrees with that. Are you dumb? Are you not understanding what I'm saying?
No.
What's going
on?
man?
Michael, are you there?
What's up, baby?
Can we continue with our,
Yeah,
what we
sure,
were talking
man.
about? Cool. Because I'm just trying to have a conversation, and they're being really hostile. It's really weird. But like,
oh man,
yeah. So what I was trying to say is the social contract, and it's sort of like turns into a moral obligation on top of the social contract, because when you eat a corpse, right? And this was stated by Matt versus when he was debating Richard in the Vegan Gains. But basically, when you eat a corpse, you are lowering the standard of well-being for other people, because they think that their body won't be disposed of properly, or they could be eaten after they die or after they lose their consciousness. So we sort of make it a moral obligation and a little bit under the social contract. Don't eat fucking people. It's also bad for you, and et cetera, like that. So there are a few reasons why we want to just eat someone just because they aren't sentient.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but on a pragmatic level. But like, okay, I have a question. I have a question. Let me take you further down the line of reasoning. Let's say it wasn't harmful. Nobody knew that it happened. Okay, and it was completely healthy. Do you have an argument against it in that sense?
If it was completely healthy and nobody cared that you were eating dead people,
yeah,
then no, it would not be.
He's not dead. He's in a coma.
Oh,
okay, fantastic.
Well, okay,
so,
okay. That's if he can't wait. If there's no possibility of him regaining sentience, because obviously there's the potential of regaining sentience.
100%, yes.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about potentiality of sentience. You're not just talking about sentient.
Well, no.
He had sentience already, and he has the potential to regain it.
Yeah, if he has the potential to wake up or something, like the doctor's like, we're not sure if he's gonna wake up or not. Probably shouldn't.
Well, that wouldn't matter at all, though, because he doesn't have sentience. In fact.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
The potential of sentience was never relevant in your original.
This is the same reason. Sorry, Silent. I gotta get this in. So the argument from potentiality is the same reason why people who argue that are pro-life falls flat, right? Argument from potentiality has all kinds of issues, right? So it's not this idea that there's something about a thing that can potentially come out of a comatose state isn't going to help you any here. Because the thing that all this hinges on is sentience.
Listen, you're missing the point. They had sentience, lost it, and they most likely they have the potential to regain it. It's the fact that they already have had it.
Yeah, once someone has sentience and they have the potential to get sentience again, they have the right to life. Basically,
can I just say, as like a vegan here, I actually don't like create the.
Well, I just wanted to hear a quick update. I went to go read this philosophical vegan thing. Funny thing is that I ended up researching it and realizing that it's valid. It's formally valid. I think that there's some dubious premises, but it's actually very interesting when I went to read the argument. But that idiot, ask yourself.
Wait, what?
There's a formally valid version of his argument. His version is formally invalid, right? And so he went and formally valid version of his argument, which is just fucking that's so stupid. But I was saying, because he said he used the name the trait argument, and so if you could quickly summarize, Tom, I want to know what was offered and how they were being inconsistent.
Sentience in plants.
Yeah, they offered sentience.
So what was the inconsistency?
Yeah,
they don't think it's okay to eat people in comas.
Yeah, so they said I said sentience was the trait, and then they went off on comas. I basically explained why that doesn't really work and why society would still reject that, even with the reasoning why. So we've already explained all this.
But then that's not the trait, right? Because
you're not taking a principled stance with regards to sentience.
It's a bit more convoluted, because like with people in a coma, it's like they've been sentient before, and it's like I'm sentient again. So it's like
It's the fact that they've previously had it. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like with the whole birth argument, because you guys brought up birth or whatever. It's like, yeah, but that thing's never been sentient before, so it's a little bit different than like a coma patient, obviously.
So fetus munchies is okay.
Well,
if it's not
we
sentient,
do abort babies. Yeah, I mean, are you like anti-abortion or
Like fetus soup or something like that? You're cool with that?
Are you
aborting an
anti-abortion?
Do you not understand?
I don't see how that matters. I'm asking
brought
about
that
your.
up?
Listen, aborting an unsentient fetus is like killing a rock.
Do you not understand?
Right, I'm just wondering
That's
if
not what the question was. Right, he wasn't
you would
saying
be
is it
okay with
okay
fetus
to
soup.
Oh, I thought he was just joking. Is this like a serious?
Yeah, it's a serious question.
Okay,
It's
okay,
fetus
serious
soup.
question.
Fine.
All right, what's your question? Repeat it.
Fetus soup. Would you eat
Fetus
it?
soup. That's the question. What I
Are you
okay.
are you purposely being this stupid? I don't know. Is this a tactic?
Yeah, are you not understanding?
No, I legit don't. I legit thought you were joking.
No,
So
I'm
I just
not
kinda
joking because you were
disregarded it.
saying that.
Yeah, because you guys are being pretty hostile. So when you're like, oh, but would you eat fetuses? I was like, oh.
Okay.
It's a serious
to be
question
fair,
with
you guys are being pretty
the
stupid.
logical inference.
That's pretty
The
ironic.
logical inference
considering,
is that if you're
Yeah, that's pretty ironic.
with
I guess-
killing fetuses, and because of the lack of
Yeah, I've
sentience,
slept
Ocean,
with
like,
could
lots
you,
of people,
Ocean, could you start over because he's not listening?
Yeah, I
I
wasn't
understand
listening to
that.
you.
I'm trying to clarify when you asked to clarify, but then you just keep talking over my
Oh,
clarification.
one of your friends just had a bumble on like an autist. So
Well,
can you
stop
that's
being
fine.
stupid and listen to him.
Well, that's ironic.
When you're
yeah,
contributing to it, it doesn't help. So, all right, we're going to do this again.
Yeah.
Logic of your position seems to be that killing fetuses is okay. That's how you're going to justify abortion.
Right.
Would it then be morally permissible for you to eat fetus soup?
If that fetus was never sentient, correct.
Yeah, I mean, how sentient was the fetus? So it's like if they were never sentient, it's like what is it, like a glob of
You killed
cells?
a
I mean,
rock.
that'd be
It's like throwing a rock at a
that'd be
wall.
like that'd just be weird. I mean, that'd be weird, but it's not more.
In a position of low access to protein, it would then be it would not be necessary to kill until we have exhausted the farming of women and their fetuses for 3 months to have fetus soup, because that has less harm.
Okay. This is a different argument entirely. Now you're saying that there's like these
No,
weird
because I've talked with
women
Ask
slave
yourself. I'm talking
camps.
about necessity. So if
No, not a
he was
slave
saying that
camp.
it becomes
We would
permissible
do
to
this
kill animals.
Is it like a
Let
consensual?
me make my own point.
Women like
If after talking with Ask Yourself, one of the things that he was saying was he was talking about this necessity.
Well, I'm not-
So if you're in a position in which the only food that's available is ducks, then you can kill the ducks and eat the ducks. But if it is unnecessary, then you should do everything that you can before you actually start murdering things.
Yes.
And if the value is on sentience, and there is a wealth of animals around, but there's not very much plant matter, but you do have a lot of women in your population, we should be resorting to eating fetus soup.
Okay,
at least to sufficiently save as many animals as possible. So we should be farming women for 3 months pregnant in order to have fetus soup as an available option, so that we kill less animals. Is that
even practical, bro? Like,
yeah, I feel like that would take more calories to make the fucking fetus than just to eat what you're feeding the women to give
Right.
birth. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it would. It's you would have to feed
You guys
these
are
women and
calling me
everything.
stupid,
Like that, but or if you're able to create a meal,
Yeah,
you know,
eat
we
a lot
can-
of unsentient fucking globs of cells. Yeah,
Right.
Eat up, dude.
or even better, let's just abort the.
Abort the animals. Yeah, just eat their small globs of cells.
Right. Well, no,
Even is this conversation?
And also you can't
get
even
to the point of
prove-
like right before birth on like horses or some shit.
Are you guys just
because they're not
incapable of
sentient.
making
Yes.
a good
Yes,
argument
they
for
are.
meat eating?
Yes.
They're just babbling on. It's really fucking.
Are you guys incapable of tackling that argument? It's a bad argument.
Yeah, it seems
Michael,
like
I'm
the
also
objection
Michael. I'm
doesn't
not
have anything to
vegan,
do with
and that
the argument.
comes with the software. It's like programmed in. I can't take it
Well,
off.
guys, why don't you just relax and actually tell us what's wrong? Pretend like we're stupid. Right?
You are,
And just
but
address his
continue.
argument.
Pretend like you're stupid. No,
Yeah, well,
no, we don't need to make
pretend,
pretend.
yeah.
No, we hear you. We hear you. Now tackle the argument.
Veganism is about practicality. Setting up this
Is this
fucking
an
birth chamber is fucking not.
They don't have to be in
practical.
birth chambers. We just, when women get pregnant around 3 months, if they don't want the child, then you can abort them, and then you have fetus soup for a little. Like that's a meal.
Well, first of all, you
This
just
is a hypothetical. I mean, what is wrong with this hypothetical? I'm still confused. Like, again,
if you
just
want,
tell us that we're stupid.
if you
You could also expand it to animals, so that when you have animals that are a certain amount of pregnancy or whatever. If the trait is sentience, then animal fetuses don't apply. So you can abort a horse just before birth, and then you've got yourself a solid fucking meal.
Well, no,
there,
you
a horse
can't.
fetus isn't
You
very
can't
small.
forcefully. No, the horse is sentient. You can't forcefully take its child.
Oh, you're suggesting that we're talking about murder. I guess you're talking about the horse having bodily autonomy
let's
now.
just keep it with consenting humans.
Yeah, we can go with
which
consenting
that's gonna be
adults.
a problem.
Yeah, because animals can't consent like that. That's weird.
Fair enough. We'll go back to humans then. So
sure, I understand what you're
Concession
saying.
accepted. Yeah, move
So
back.
let's say this. Let's say there's just a bunch of women, like there's a store they can go into and they're 3 months pregnant. They don't want a child. Just fucking abort it and then it's turned into food. I don't see anything wrong with that.
It'd be weird though. I'm not saying it wouldn't be weird, but yeah, it's
it'd be weird. There's no objection.
No
I'm
objection.
saying
That
that this
doesn't seem immoral at all.
It's like
far as,
girls
like, the
eating their
necessity
placenta and shit.
Does like Pinpin say you need to know?
Oh, you were saying I was stupid for putting this out there, but it seems to be that you agree with it.
It's like they're
No,
going to the
I
store.
thought that the argument itself, because you're trying to come at us with like a debunk on veganism or like the whole cult, like.
No, I'm just seeing if this applies. I was looking for
the argument that I thought you were
naming
making was
trait.
like the idea that we were going to farm women and their fetuses.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what
No,
I
I
thought.
think that that makes sense though. Like in order to
just
from the position
you
you have,
just got out of the retard zone and you went. You're like, oh no, actually, I
diving
am
right back in. So let me hear me out then, because I thought you were agreeing with me for a second. Apparently you don't.
Not farming them, random women who are living their lives. and just
No.
walk-
If the women can consent to this, and it's because it's we're in a vegan society, right? And these women understand
Everyone has
that
feelings.
this is helping the situation. We're in a situation where we do have to kill animals. We are killing animals because of the necessity of it in order for the population
No,
to survive.
That's not
So
true.
in order to offset the destruction of these animals, we are farming 3-month-old fetuses, or more like maybe 7-month-old fetuses, so that we can get a stronger meal out of it. And then
You rather eat the fucking.
Wait, are you just playing devil's advocate, or do you not understand that like your argument is predicated upon like 10 false claims?
So I'm taking this from Ask Yourself. Ask Yourself was saying
We're
that it's
not
for
Ask
animals.
Yourself.
And first of all,
Yeah, we aren't like.
Are you? So you're not agreeing with Ask Yourself's position? You think everyone should starve?
I don't personally ascribe to Ask Yourself's.
Fine.
beliefs.
So the consequence of that.
No, stop.
Damn it! Let me get
He
this
would
out.
never say that. He would never say that.
Yes, he did. He did to me. So
He wouldn't
just
predicate it on a bunch of false things.
What?
Hold on a second. Just everyone take a breath. Everyone's upset that this is based on like some false.
Right. I'm trying to figure out what the false pretense is, because
so what
the
are they?
consequence of this, the consequence of disagreeing with this, is then therefore that it is not okay to kill animals in extreme situations, and you're suggesting that humans should just starve to death in situations in which there's readily available food in the animals.
All right. Well,
So it's either one or the other.
Zycro made the claim that you were making false arguments. So Zycro, it is your onus to explain.
I don't know who was arguing with Josh when I first.
Well, it
walked
seems like maybe it was a hypothetical he was posing, and in that
It
case,
is
I
a
actually
hypothetical,
do
though, but-
apologize. I do apologize if I misconstrued it. But in this hypothetical, right, the idea is the false claim that I immediately ticked off on was we do need to farm animals to sustain the population, which is just a false claim. But if it's a hypothetical, I do apologize.
No. I was saying we're in a situation in which it is necessary.
Yeah,
we don't have access to
okay.
entire
I'm
traits
sorry. I
here,
do
which is
apologize. I didn't.
When Ask Yourself put this forward to me, I was like, well, what if we're in situations in which we have starving populations? He's like, well, then it's permissible to kill animals because we're talking about survival here. And so the choice is either swaths of humans die or animals get cooked. And Ask Yourself was like, fine, animals get cooked.
100%.
Right. So if we're in a situation in which animals are being cooked, and we can offset the number of animals that are being cooked by having fetus soup as an available menu item population, then there's an ought there that we ought do that. We ought have 7-month-old fetuses aborted in order to provide some meals in order to save
For one, you need to explain: is it completely practical? Is it healthy? Is it beneficial? You need to explain these things.
No, it saves lives. You can get nutrition out of fetus soup.
Where are the fetuses
I
coming
think that's clear.
Like, how is it getting obtained?
Yes,
Consensually?
we have a consensual program. Yes.
Okay.
The Vegan Society has women in it that are like, cool, we're on board with this plan.
Sure.
And does that mean therefore that we ought to do that?
Should non-vegans answer this question too? I think that would be fair.
I think if
It's
there's
just
no
like an
way
anybody
to,
question. It's just so weird.
if there's no way to get out of eating animals,
specifically a vegan
yes.
question because the non-vegan is just going to be like, well, fucking cook more animals. We don't need to do
No,
this
the
fucking
fetus.
soup shit.
No, the fetus. That's a difficult one.
If that's the only way to reduce that industry, then sure. If it's consensual baby eating,
Yeah,
fuck it.
if it's not bad for people and it's practical and it's actually you can survive off of it, obviously.
And it's only the only
there
way
needs
to
to be
combat
a
the
lot of
industry.
things. Yeah,
Right, so
it's,
my
it's
question
less
is not
simple
whether or
than you're
not
making it
it's
out
like
to be.
permissible. It's whether or not it's
And you also
the
said like
moral
4
imperative.
months old. I think fetuses become sentient after like how long is it? Like a few weeks? I don't know the exact number, so don't try to fucking
I think it's
quote
3
me.
months. I think it's like 3 months.
thought
Yeah,
we were
but
talking
7
about is, like,
months.
they're not
7 months
sentient until
sounds
much
too long.
later.
Yeah, it needs
Yeah,
to.
they
needs to be before
become sentient in the third trimester.
Yeah, so whenever they become sentient, it's not permissible.
All right, so not 7 months to 6 months then.
If they're not sentient, sure.
Right.
matter
My
that-
question is
yeah,
not whether or not it's permissible; it's whether or not it's a moral imperative. That means
So
it
sure.
can be fought
Let me say that. So if that's the only way to reduce the animal agriculture industry and it's consensual, then yes. Why? There's no objection to that.
Cool. That's interesting. Thank you.
Okay.